So as a small introduction, let me tell you how come we and the university are working together and what is it that we are going to do during this week that we have our consultant with us. It is that we have embarked on a project to do some more research in the reality of our children, our youth, and our adolescents here in St. Maarten, and where we would like to, together with parents, with the families, inform them and educate them so that they also can contribute to the development of St. Maarten. After the hurricane, a lot of challenges, so we want to start with that experience to build back better and stronger. It's not only to build back the blocks, it's also to build back the people, to be more resilient. And we would like to give our 2 cents to that. And we are very fortunate that the university also wants to support us with their institution in the research.
The service that the university can give to the community by informing the community, by creating that space for critical thinking. And research is another component, a very important action that takes place at the university. But all of these 3 things combined together, the teaching, the research, and the service to the community, all has to be geared towards that vision that we have for the country, for the island, and also for the region. What can we mean for St. Maarten? What can we do for St. Maarten? Where do we want to be in 10 years from now? And how do we want to improve our social conditions? The last research that we participated in was how healthy is St. Maarten? We did that together with the north side of the island, with the collectivité, and other universities. University of the Virgin Islands was also involved. And we look forward to embarking upon this new venture of looking at our social economic condition and development on the island. And I'm very proud to say that we are going to be working together closely with the St. Maarten Anti-Poverty Platform. And I would just say that I'm very happy that the platform, of course together with the unions and the communities of faith, have worked together in order to invite Mr. Niels Kasperg to talk to us about what we're going. I'd also like to thank the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, also for opening up the doors today and helping us and collaborating to get our goals accomplished.
The importance of the involvement of the working class and their families in the realization of the rights of the child. Long topic, but let's consider it for a moment. The foundation of any society is the family. The family unit knits together the social fabric of our community, intertwining the principles and values of our ancestors with the lessons learned from our parents and decorated with the wonderful colors of our youth. Children are instinctively vibrant and playful, seeking pleasure and comfort in every moment. They're not born with the knowledge of right or wrong, good or bad. They just know what makes them happy. And if they're not happy, someone will hear their cries about it. Basically, we want to raise happy children who will become positive, contributing members of our society. UNICEF has articulated the basic rights of the child by identifying what measures must be taken by adults, by parents, by the elders, by leaders, and by the governments to safeguard those rights to be happy and to be productive. And so as Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, a few months ago, I signed a memorandum of understanding on behalf of country St. Martin, along with the other countries within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, to uphold, to promote, and to protect the international rights of the child. However, as you know, government cannot do this work alone. To ensure that children are loved and that they're fed and that they're sheltered, cared for and educated and safe from harm requires the keen attention of loving parents. There is a saying, and I quote, "The best thing that you can give your child or your children is T-I-M-E, time. And this is a mantra that I fully support.
The University of St. Martin have agreed to enter into a friendly partnership with the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform for the collaboration in the areas of research, community service, informational services, and the development of public policy in the area of poverty eradication, labor, and the treatment of the social, economical inequity on St. Martin and in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So to conduct and to be able to set up this project, we have none other than our former director of UNICEF, Caribbean and Latin America, Niels Kasper. We are very thankful to this gentleman who is a consultant and has a very busy schedule, that he was able to grace our shores once again with his knowledge and be here to share it during the period of this week with different groups.
What is the real sovereignty of St. Martin? What is it? What's the real sovereignty? And the reflection we were making was that it's not the harbor, it's not the Bay of Philipsburg, it's not your nice hills. If I had the power to make all of you disappear in the island, thank God I don't have that power. But if I was to do that, St. Martin would cease to exist. So what gives the real sovereignty to St. Martin is each of you. And it's the combined intelligence of each of you. Now, there are some basic things that we need to be very aware of. A country like Guatemala throws away approximately 49% of its intellectual capacity. Literally. 49% of the population in Guatemala suffer from something that's called chronic undernutrition. This starts during the pregnancy. So many of the children, over 1 in every 5 children, more than that, are born to a teenage mother, who very often was sexually abused by somebody in the family environment, and who is victimized 3 times. Firstly, becoming pregnant too early for her biological body. Secondly, victimized because everybody is looking at her as if she's the problem. And thirdly, because the injustice continues there. Whoever was abusing her continues being present there. And he has no problem, but she's the one carrying all the burdens. Now, not all the cases are like that, but the majority of the cases are like that. And that anguish affects the nutritional situation of the mother. So that affects the growth of the brain. So at the moment of birth of the baby, you have a baby, if you took an X-ray of the brain, of the head, of a baby that was born from a mother with good nutritional level, and compare it with the baby of a mother that has been living through all this anguish, you will see that the brain has shrunk, much smaller than the actual head. Now, in spite of that very dramatic situation, it could still be resolved within 24 to 36 months if the mother is able to breastfeed, and if the baby is able, and child as it starts growing, receives in-time support. If not, there will be permanent brain damage. It's a perfectly wonderful child that will not have the ability of initiative, will lack a lot of creativity, will repeat first grade probably 2-3 times, has great difficulties memorizing, will be a very good worker, but only as long as it's repetitive. Don't bring in any element, new element, or don't say, oh, come and do this now. No, you need to let them continue operating in what they have become used to.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
And the opening of WIP's first digital branch was quite an undertaking. And we are very pleased to have arrived at this stage this evening. However, this evening's ceremony will not be complete if as the main coordinator I did not extend word of thanks and appreciation to many companies and persons who were involved. At this time, I would like to thank the following contractors and vendors. Lecom, Emil and Hank, thank you very much. WAC, Rosendo, Window Road, Bossy and First Response, DNAF, Anselmo de Rix, Clean St. Martin, Livet Signs, Ignacio Furnitures, Tony Air Condition, Ismar NV, and Stefan Bob. We would also like to extend sincere appreciation to the following persons and teams from the Maduring Careers Bank and the Windward Islands Bank. Omar Russell and his management team from Curacao. Omar Mashadanki, thanks for putting up with me and putting up with me for a lot of stressful evenings. Minoshka Constance and her maintenance team. We call Minoshka the Iron Lady. Stephen Constance with his IT team. Ectograms with his branch management. From MCB IT, Adele and Louis Senior. Jos van Inger and his security team. Ferdinand Bobetry and his marketing team.
And for many years, probably you started from right after school, but tell us a little bit about your years in banking here at Windward Islands Bank.
Well, actually I did start just after school. I actually started in 1979. At that time the bank was on the Cyrus Watty Square. I started there as a teller, and things have changed. Back in those days, everything was the manual process where everything you calculate with a calculator, you calculated your own exchange rates and things. Today, we're opening this modern branch where we have modern technology, everything is online, everything is calculated for you. So it's quite a change from what we used to do back in those days. The difference should be is that we want to move away from this hands-on operation and have people use more of our online services. Back in the days, everyone wanted to socialize in the bank. That was the way we reacted then. Everybody come in the bank. They had it like a community event where you meet at the bank and you meet your friends and your colleagues. Today, people are stepping away from that. They're concerned about their time. They don't want to waste time. They don't want to lose time. So online banking is the way we go today compared to back in those days.
You know, banking is very long time, 40 years of banking in the bank.
Yes, it
You're
is.
still going to do another 40 years? Or?
Unfortunately not. I'm reaching to that stage where I need to relax a little bit. So probably within the next 2 to 3 years, I will be going on a well-deserved pension. So.
Okay. And what when you go to that time, what some of the things that you like to see improve in the banking industry?
Well, like I stated before, what I would like to see improve, I know people like the human contact, but in these days, it's not the right way to go. And that's why Windward Islands Bank has decided to go digital. Stay at your home, you do your banking from home. If you want to come to the bank and do your work, we have the workstation where you can sit, do all of your online banking, your transfers, your payments to GB. No one wants to stand and wait anymore. People are busy, people have hectic lives, so the way to go is online banking.
Maybe I should ask you this question to go along with your 40 years. How did you get into the bank? And I know you said from right after school you came in, but how did you get in?
Well, it's sort of a long story. I actually applied at ABN AMRO for a job, and at the same time, about a week after, my aunt, who was actually the first employee at Windward Islands Bank, the late Ruby Flanders, she advised me, why don't you go and apply at Windward Islands Bank? Which I did. I went and I applied at Windward Islands Bank. A couple of days after, ABN AMRO called me and they said that I got the job. So I went to my aunt and I told her, listen here, ABN AMRO Bank called me. What should I do? She said, don't go. You wait for Windward Islands Bank. And that's what I did. So 3 or 4 days after, Windward Islands Bank called and said I got the job at Windward Islands Bank. So I asked what was the salary. They said 748 guilders a month. I said, but auntie, ABN AMRO Bank is offering me 848 guilders a month. She said, forget about the money. Go to Windward Islands Bank. And that's what I did. Today, I'm still here. ABN AMRO has come and gone. Windward Islands Bank is still here.
What was the first thing you started in the bank?
I started as a teller, actually. And I actually applied to the bank for a bookkeeping position. They said it was not available, so they said I can probably start as a teller, and that's what I did. And I remained there and worked my way up to assistant managing director now for retail banking.
And you're satisfied that the last 40 years that you have worked in the
I
bank?
wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing.
What would you say for youngsters that want to come up in the banking industry?
I would say decide what you want to do. Banking isn't for everyone. And you find out what your passion is. And if it is banking, you have to be persistent in terms of the job that you do.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for? I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Would like to report on a meeting with, a series of meetings actually, with PAHO last week. The Department of Public Health, Social Development, and also Collective Preventive Services met with representatives from the PAHO, or the Pan American Health Organization. Specifically with Dr. Erica Wheeler, she's representative of St. Martin and the regional director for the Dutch Caribbean. Dr. Taraline Malcolm, advisor for NCDs, or non-communicable diseases, and mental health. And Nicola Taylor, project leader for the Dutch Caribbean, and Mr. Jean-Claude Paris, administrative support. So we had two sessions basically with them. The first was to conduct what they called a hand-on prioritization exercise. And the idea of this is to identify which priorities we would like to focus on in terms of a technical cooperation between St. Martin and PAHO for the next 6 years. Obviously, the focus is on how do we improve the overall quality of healthcare with a focus on preventative care. There were three main priority areas that were identified for technical assistance. Number one, as you know, we're working diligently on the general health insurance legislation. This is actually at Council of Advice. We expect to have that from them sometime in March, and then we will begin the process getting it through Parliament. In the meantime, we are beginning with stakeholder consultations, and we've explained that we expect that there's some level of resistance, or there's certainly a need to educate the community because it is very complicated, a very broad and sweeping changes to our healthcare system. And so certainly there's a lot of need to educate and inform the public as to what the proposed changes are. And the PAHO has agreed that they will help us in that communication process in terms of helping us to explain what other countries are doing and what's happening in overall in terms of improving our overall quality of health and ensuring that the public has access to that health care. So as we reform our healthcare system, we need to ensure that everybody has access to it, and that means that everybody has to have insurance that allows them to access our healthcare system. Another area is health in all policies. We've talked about this several times, that there are health benefits that translate to other ministries. For example, the Ministry of Justice, ensuring that people wear seatbelts and that they have helmets. To the Ministry of Romi, one of the biggest complaints we hear in the Ministry of VSA is about sewage water that's leaking on the streets. And so while there's a health impact, the causes come sometimes from other ministries. So how we can help to give the other ministries health parameters in their policy making. So this is us working outside the box and not staying in our silo. And of course, strengthening our human resource plan for our healthcare sector. How do we develop our soft talents, our skills locally in order to better support our healthcare system? In addition to this meeting there, we also had a 2-day workshop on non-communicable diseases. So these are diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, mental health, for example. So these are, this was a session with PAHO with different stakeholders from the community, and all about how do we better strategize, how do we plan for the upcoming years in terms of a strategy. And I think PAHO is a tremendous partner in this process. The problems that we face in St. Martin are not unique problems to St. Martin. So if other people in other places in the world, especially our Caribbean brothers and sisters, if they've found solutions or found an approach, I'm the first one to say, look, let's copy, let's dovetail, let's learn from what they did right, and maybe learn from their mistakes as well.